Hi, Jeff Cooperstein for Justice in Pittsburgh. I wanted to come back and add something to the DA saying that preponderance of the evidence and beyond a reasonable doubt, the huge standard and a difference in criminal court. Yeah, he's correct. But if you look at the evidence, you can see, and certainly with the civil court judge's opinion being able to be entered into court, that it's starting to become a fairly strong case, and with a decision like that civil court decision, which would be allowed to come in, well, it's up to a judge, of course, but the idea being that that's a real thought for the jury, and that's what this becomes. This is now a fact issue. Did it happen? Did it not happen? Did it follow the law? Did it meet the elements? This is up to the jury. It's not up to the DA, because the DA's office works in a certain way. I have a very close relationship, well, let's call it business relationship, with District Attorney Steven Zappala from way back in the day. And this is the way the district attorney works. It's all about numbers. It's not about the victim. It's not about the suspects. It's about how much political fire can we get from this case. And we do want it to be a good case, but if it gets us enough recognition and enough juice, we'll take it. We'll go with that, because that ends up to being votes for the district attorney, because you're pleasing public opinion, which adds up, to a lot of people, depending on the circumstances and issues involved in the case. And for the ADA that gets assigned the case, even if he thinks it's garbage or something wrong, he's not going to say a thing. What's he going to do? Go up to his boss and say, no, I'm not going to prosecute this? No, that's not going to happen. He's going to prosecute the case no matter how lousy it is. Because once he gets his numbers, of prosecuting and winning, because if you only take cases that are pretty much sure things or going to be dispositioned, because the arrest gets made, the police are going to up the charges to felonies. It goes to the district attorney's office. It's going to get a public defender. It's going to be a plea bargain. Never going to see court. It's the same thing that would happen in this case. That's how the system sucks. Okay? It basically, you go in there, and if you can't afford a really good attorney, you're going to get a public defender who's basically going to say, you know what? Take the 2 years in community service rather than go sit in front of a jury and risk 15. So the system needs a real reboot, but District Attorney Steven Zappala plays the system because he's a politician. The ADAs under him, like ADA Edward Burkowski, who prosecuted my case, went on to be a common pleas judge. The judge in the case, Chacon, he went on to be in the circuit court, and this is the way the game is played. You do whatever you have to do, whether right or wrong. It used to be a saying that, better to put 100 criminals back on the street than put one innocent person in jail. Now it's the other way around. If we get our numbers, better to throw 100 innocent people in jail and, you know what? Catch and release. Let the criminals run wild. Look at the crime numbers. You can fudge them all you want, with the statistics. You can turn the auto thefts into criminal mischief for breaking and entering or whatever you want to do. But, it's all numbers. That's the whole thing's about. It's all numbers and following the money, when you boil it all down. The district attorney makes a lousy decision. That makes it so the public safety director has to make a lousy decision, which makes it so the chief's good decision and OMI's recommendation means nothing. They don't care if they hurt the women police officers, okay, because what women police officers, this happens, okay? Let's face facts, this happens, Okay, there are people out there that just don't get it. If a girl doesn't want to be with you, it's a very obvious thing. Okay, because it's a very obvious thing when a woman wants to be with you. So there shouldn't be any real fine line. And the no yes thing. You know, uh, if you got a woman who's saying no in the middle of sex, let her go. What do you want to be with her for? Saying no. Okay, good. Bye. See you. Okay, but anyhow, that's another subject. But in this case stands on its own. You have the victim's testimony, you have an admission that could be admitted, and you basically have evidence of what he didn't do that makes him look like a real scumbag in front of the eyes of the jury. And pretty much, if this gets out in the public, as I believe it's going to, and Rick Earl is certainly helping with that, public opinion is going to start to enter in, and people are going to find this egregious. Because an officer sent me an email, and I posted it, but it basically said, if this had happened to anybody else but a police officer, this would have been national, all over the news. Nancy Grace, Dan Abrams, everybody would have had a hold of this. It just would have been wonderful. If it would have been a black woman he did this to, unbelievable. You'd think George Floyd took up no time. Okay, so the idea is here, since there's been this hatred of the police, or let's defund them, we don't like them, or whatever, nobody cares. But if it was anybody else, they would have cared. And that's what this text was about to me. So anyhow, that adds up to what I'm pretty much done with for the week. And take a little rest here. It's really early in the morning, but that seems to be how it's been all my life. Anyhow, have a great night, and everybody be safe. Jeff out.